Email is most likely enemy number one when it comes to killing your productivity. Now, it hasn't taken that long for email to completely change how we communicate and really become an everyday part of how most workers and companies interact. Believe it or not, the first US president to send an email was Bill Clinton, who held office between 1993 and 2001. But in that period of time, how many emails do you think he actually sent? During his term, he sent exactly 2 emails. Since then, its use has exploded. In fact, in one study, almost a third of workers list email as their biggest distraction on the job. Another study found that a typical worker checks their email once every 5 minutes, and that on average it takes about 64 seconds to resume the previous task after checking their email. In fact, it's estimated that 70% of emails actually interrupt the recipients within 6 seconds of arriving. With all the dinging and alerts going off all day long, it's amazing we get anything done. I think Brennan Burchard put it best when he said that in many cases, your email inbox, a convenient organizing system for other people's agenda. I know I certainly can be guilty of checking email far too often. And many of us will check it first thing in the morning when we wake up, we'll check it all day long, and then check it right before we go to bed. Now, I'm not saying that email can't be a great tool for communication, or even a necessity, quite frankly, in the workplace, but it's critical that you set up your own rules and restrictions for how often you check your email and use batch processing. Everybody's situation is different, but I highly encourage you to experiment with different constraints and only allow yourself to check email at designated times throughout the day. Another great strategy can be to check email when your energy levels are at the lowest. Typically, checking email, sending email is pretty easy work, and that will allow you to save your high energy and most productive time periods for your most important tasks. So what about you? What's your relationship with email? Do you check it first thing in the morning? Do you check it all day long? If so, I encourage you to experiment and over the next day or two, pick 2, 3, or 4 times max throughout the day that you're allowed to process and check email, and only check email throughout those time frames and block off the rest of the time for your highest impact activities and most important priorities.